Seems like all my idols let me down. In the end they turned around, and what they set out to destroy became their future selves. This world, it runs on currency. Sellouts live that dirty trade, and everything I once enjoyed turns into cash-hungry money machines. 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 Cash-hungry money machines.
In this day and age, I find myself really struggling to connect to new artists out there. Now, I'm not a I was born in the wrong generation type of person, but one thing I really struggle with growing up in the 2000s, I feel like there's a lack of genuine art out there. To me, it feels like the last strand of iconic musicians died out in the late 90s and early 2000s. It started to feel like every piece of music that came out while I was growing up was made for the sole intent of selling records and getting money. Everything just started to feel so disingenuous. Everything being spoon-fed to us on mainstream media just felt like a big middle finger to the artists who were still trying to convey an actual message. I started to realize that most of the musicians that I listened to and idolized were either dead or had retired from the industry. It's almost like people stopped trying to make thought-provoking music because that's just not what made them money anymore. And from the time I was born, it seemed like the only kind of music being fed to people was mindless and soulless, and again, just made for the sole intent of making money. It was disgusting. As dark as it sounds, I started to question if it was a good thing that the majority of the artists I listened to either died or just stopped making music. I started noticing a trend of the artists I do enjoy who are still around ended up just making very insulting, just formulaic music that sounded like everything else. It was almost like the artists that I liked who retired quit while they were ahead. This mentality slowly began to feel like the ugly truth to me. It felt like nobody with an important voice was left, and the ones who actually had an important message they wanted to convey, they weren't seeing the light of day. They were being drowned out by the never-ending garbage of just mainstream media that's spoon-fed to us.
Seems like all the rockers faded out. Who is left to save us from it? The revolution's put on mute, and soulless songs now constitute. Every time you stick to the man, your voice is drowned out by the band. The radio's corruption to our youth. Corporations deny us the truth.
So what do you do when you find a new artist you feel is important to you? Over time, I started finding new artists from the past few decades who I felt had an important message to convey, and they weren't conforming to a certain sound just because it made them money. It may or may not be obvious, but Gorillaz have been a big influence to me artistically and musically. While not only being a unique idea of a cartoon band, they also produced music with a very unique sound. It was very easy for me to become obsessed with the idea of Gorillaz and just the band as a whole. Having focus on cartoon characters as a band, there's really no toxic ego. They set out to create unique music and reject false icons. Gorillaz felt like a rebellion to the music industry and just money-hungry celebrities as a whole. Although Gorillaz may seem mainstream and not really a secret band of any means, I feel like if you dig hard enough, it's easy to find artists like them who convey an important message that you can appreciate. Unfortunately, every rose has its thorn. For me personally, I feel like Gorillaz have slowly become everything they set out to destroy. Over the past 3 to 4 years, I've watched them just become ploys to sell as much merchandise as humanly possible. The exact same characters who set out to destroy false icons and money-hungry celebrities just basically became just that. They were ploys to market merchandise and make money. Now, I could have a whole separate video on how I feel about the current state of Gorillaz, and really the only reason I bring up Gorillaz in this whole video and, just scenario is really just to say, really drawn to the line of idols letting you down. I feel like even artists you feel you can trust, they can end up letting you down in the end, and break a certain trust. Rock is Dead is a protest song about false idols, a big middle finger to corporate voices drowning out important messages in media. I feel now more than ever, we need to support artists that we appreciate, and most importantly, the messages they're trying to bring to us. It's so easy for important messages to just fade away into a sea of bullshit coming from just false icons. It shouldn't have to be. It's better to burn out than to fade away. Artists wouldn't fade away if they weren't so money hungry and motivated by the toxic power that is driven by fame and fortune. Support small artists, believe in better messages in the media, and save rock and roll.
Who is left to save it?